Hello everybody and welcome to January fashion news. And I am quite looking forward to this video because strangely a lot has happened already in the first month of 2022. So in case you've not been here before, this is a video where I go through all of the fashion news stories that I think you guys will find interesting and that I find interesting too. Kicking off the start of January with the first bag launch of the year, Dior launched the Vibe bag. This is the hobo style bag. They also have the bowling style bag, a little bit bigger, obviously more of a bowling bag styling. This one is much more like crossbody, little top handle strap, very sportswear inspired. I mean, a number of pieces in the collection this season, especially for cruise and into spring, have been very sportswear looks. In fact, I did buy a pair of leggings. I couldn't let those go after I tried them on, but Dior have moved into more gymwear and lycra and elasticated waistbands. So if you use social media, there's no way that you didn't see the Vibe bag launch. Dior once again did a full kind of blackout on social media where they gifted a number of influencers globally a Vibe bag with the hobo style or the bowling bag. And everybody took a picture and posted it on January 6th, myself included, with this bag, I'm very lucky to say. So 2 questions for you guys. Number 1, what do you think of the brand new Dior bag for the season? Do you like it? Is it something that you would invest in? I must admit, I've worn this a number of times now. I went to Paris recently and wore this as my bag kind of traveling with. It fits a good amount of things in here. I mean, you can get your purse, camera, phone, all manner of lipsticks and lip liners, even a little snack in this bag. But I must admit that the bowling bags are something that I am looking into, and I don't own anything of that kind of shape or style in my own collection. I just need to weigh up if I really need it and would use it enough. But I'd love to hear what you guys think about the new Vibe bag. And second of all, what do you guys think of the whole social media takeover aspect of brand marketing? Do you not mind? I mean, does it give you inspiration when you see someone over in Australia and then someone in the UK and then someone in Austria all wearing the same bag in different styles and different settings? Does that give you inspiration? Does that make you want to go out and buy that bag? Or does it put you off? Does it make you think, you know, all of these influencers wearing this bag makes you almost not want it because a number of people already have it? Do you almost want to go against the grain and be like, this marketing is too much guerrilla marketing for me, I don't like it, and therefore I'm not going to buy the bag? I'd kind of love to hear your thoughts on it because it's a tactic that a number of brands have used in the past. Dior especially, Louis Vuitton have also used this technique, and then last week, Boss, who have completely rebranded, also launched their new brand campaign. And you probably saw Hailey Bieber and so many other celebrities wearing the black sweatshirt saying Boss across the front. And I think that's part of a whole new branding style for Boss. And I must admit, from my perspective, seeing that Boss campaign, I wasn't part of that and therefore I wasn't savvy to it. I kind of liked it. It was nice seeing different people in the sweatshirt. By the 15th person that I saw, I kind of wanted one. So I get that for a lot of people, it does work. It does encourage a lot of people to maybe want to spend and invest in those pieces, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. Okay, next story, which I think I'm almost working through the month by date here. I really wanted to cover this story because I thought it was really quite cool and strange mixing of fashion meets film. Jeff Goldblum closing the Prada menswear show in Milan. Now, I saw this on social media, a few people were posting it on their stories, and I was like, why is Jeff Goldblum on a runway wearing Prada? And the more I thought about it, the more I thought this is one of the coolest things I've seen. The whole premise, the whole point and context behind that was for this season that Prada was trying to make the point that anyone, anywhere, of any realm and career can wear whatever they want, whether that's Prada or something else. And by bringing in actors, like recognisable faces, recognisable figures, it's almost able to bring this sense of reality to the runway. So by seeing someone you recognise on the runway, like Jeff Goldblum for example, it kind of gives you more of a feeling of that's how Jeff might look walking down the street in Prada. Whereas, of course, seeing a model, as amazing as models look, there's almost this aspect of non-reality with models. I guess sometimes you can't imagine yourself wearing something that they're wearing because you don't really look like them. Whereas Jeff is this recognisable figure that you can almost sort of relate to a bit more because you know of him. That's the way that I have read this anyway, and that's what I kind of took from it. But I loved it and I thought he looked fantastic in his feathers. I just really enjoyed seeing it. But on that note of Men's Fashion Week, again, I'd kind of like to hand it out to you guys. What do you guys think of the menswear runways? Are you interested? Do you often research and look into what is coming now on the men's collection side? Do you ever do your own research and like to look into what the new collections are going to be for men's? I mean, the first New York menswear show was in 2015, and since then I feel like it's only picked up more speed and more acclaim. I see a lot more female influencers, especially going to the menswear shows. Plus, of course, a lot more male bloggers and influencers going along to the menswear shows. And so I'm seeing a lot more of it on my feeds, which I think is amazing when personally I feel that the female catwalks have always had that real excitement and buzz around them and everyone's always really inspired, and I feel that the designers that design for women's always seem to get this real praise and acclaim, whereas there are so many menswear designers out there who are really creating something exciting. Of course there's Raf Simons at Prada, you know, there's Kim Jones at Dior. There are a number of fantastic designers out there designing for menswear, and it is great to see much more of that on my feeds. But I'd love to know how you guys feel about it. Are you interested? Are you as interested? Are you not as interested? I also think it's a really great way to celebrate male fashion, and in a way I hope it does inspire a bigger excitement in men for dressing. Now, I'm not saying this about every guy, but I would definitely probably assume there are more females who are super excited about fashion than there are men. And I feel a lot more men are happy to wear more basic, casual, chilled items and not really think too much about the designers and the trends. And so the more that menswear grows, gains more press traditionally and online, perhaps it will encourage a lot more men to be interested and to be on board with trends and to collect different designer items. I think it could be a really nice moment of change. Moving on to the next story, and unfortunately another huge loss for the fashion industry. On January 18th, André Leon Talley very sadly passed away from complications with a heart attack. He was known for a whole host of incredible career accolades, specifically being the editor-at-large of Vogue US from 1983 until 2013. He was just known as such a fashion icon. He featured a number of incredible fashion movies that are still some of my absolute favourites ever. First Monday in May and the September issue. They are films that I adore as that real insight into the industry, and his incredible personality and character always shone through. There is also a documentary about André, and unfortunately I've actually never seen it, but I'm definitely going to watch it after this. It's called The Gospel According to André, so definitely watch that if you do want to find out even more about this incredible man. But he was also known as someone who would support upcoming designers, he would advocate for diversity in the fashion industry, he was a creative director, a stylist, a journalist, and overall he was very much an icon. You likely may have also seen him on the judging panel for America's Next Top Model for a number of seasons. He just had so much energy and so much excitement and life, and I'm just so sad to see this incredible icon leave our screens and leave this industry that he worked so hard to make a much better place. Now, during these fashion news videos, I do always like to talk about any brands that are making change when that comes to sustainability and doing their bit for climate change and ensuring that their manufacturing, any of their processes are much more streamlined and that they're doing something for the industry and therefore the world. I always like to touch on those kind of stories. And therefore I wanted to talk about the new Fashion Act, or otherwise known as the Fashion Sustainability and Social Accountability Act. This has been unveiled as a bill that, if it does get passed in the Senate, would ensure that retailers with a profit of 100 million or more, which is quite often the mass majority, including your high-end LVMH, Dior, etc., but also your enormous fast fashion retailers like Shein, Boohoo, Misguided, etc. would all be held much more accountable and much more transparently for their figures and what they intend to do in the future for climate change. The idea being that brands need to be more transparent, more open, and to detail and map out their entire supply chain from start to finish, including the farms where their cotton is grown or where they get their wool from, all the way to when the customer buys it. Then when their entire supply chain is mapped out, they then need to disclose where in that supply chain they have the biggest social or environmental impact. So whether that's greenhouse gases or whether that's a huge amount of water usage for the dyeing and the cleaning of their clothes, or whether that's fair wages that they pay to certain staff members along that supply chain. The point being to pinpoint where they need to make change, where they need to bring those numbers down, and where they can really reduce their impact environmentally. Overall, this is a way to make sure that we get full transparency from some of the biggest fashion retailers in the world, of which a lot of these brands aren't transparent. We don't really know the inner workings of their supply chain. And so this particular piece of legislation that's come out of New York would mean that brands finally have to stand up and be made accountable. So companies will get 12 months to map out their supply chain, to hand over that data, and then if they are found to be in violation of the law, they get charged a 2% fine of their annual revenue, which is absolutely massive for the majority of these brands. But the chances are that if this does pass in New York, it likely will move into other states as well as other countries around the world. So maybe it could be the start of the change in transparency and openness, and for retailers to really take their impact seriously. So we'll see in the spring when this is voted on, but I think actually it could be a really fantastic move forward. I'd love to hear what you think. This is such a huge story, and I definitely urge you to do your own reading on it. There's quite a number of articles online. I just thought it was so interesting and a really bold move in New York. Moving on to January 23rd, and again we have lost another incredible icon in the industry. Manfred Thierry Mugler died at the age of 73 after creating some of the most iconic runway looks, as well as one of the most best-selling perfume lines ever. Angel, which I'm sure you've heard of, is one of the most best-selling perfumes. It almost took over the fashion for being like the iconic Mugler piece. And although Manfred did actually leave Mugler in 2002, he still continued designing. He still continued working with celebrities and making them look absolutely incredible. I'm sure you'll all remember Kim Kardashian wearing that latex, crystal, embellished, wet look dress at the Met Gala. That was a Mugler creation. I mean, I recently wore one of their beautiful like bodycon mesh pieces. It's completely recognisable as Mugler. It has such sexy, feminine, empowering appeal. He was just so well known for championing diversity and everybody together. He very much wanted to bring in the LGBT community into his runways, trans men, trans women. He was known for this very sexual, daring, bold, and forward-thinking brand. And again, it's just so sad to see another icon leave the industry. Now for a little bit of upcoming news. I've just seen Dior are launching Birkenstocks. Dior Birkenstocks. Now, I've never bought a pair of Birkenstocks, and Alex has a pair, and I must admit now and again I use them to go out in the garden with Beau, but I've never actually bought some myself. Not because I don't think they're, you know, they look comfortable, they look somewhat stylish, I've just never really invested. However, now I'm interested in a big way. Of course, a lot of you are probably like, do you know what, my usual Birkenstocks are like the £80 price mark, are fine for me, and that's totally cool. Obviously the Dior Birkenstocks are going to be around the 800 price mark, and likely we'll just have a few little Dior logos and fixtures on there. However, I must admit they do look quite dreamy, and I'm really excited for these to drop. I think that they're coming out in a number of months, maybe around April, May time, so watch this space. But if any of you have seen them too and also swooned, let me know. I've just realised one story that I've forgotten to mention. Balmain and Barbie Are we loving this collaboration? I completely forgot to mention this, I think, in my last video. However, I'm seeing more and more of the collection actually dropping now, available to buy, so actually it's a perfect time to tell you about it. I must admit there are a number of pieces that I've seen that I absolutely love. It's Balmain styling, just with that extra pop of Barbie colour and excitement. There's this beautiful fuchsia pink structured blazer, gold buttons, and it's absolutely beautiful. You know, matching skirts. I mean, there's a lot of pink, a lot of colour, stripe, Barbie logos, but I kind of like it. There's something really fun about it. I think I'm always very much one for having fun with fashion. I think the fashion industry can take itself so seriously sometimes. Why not mix it up sometimes with a little bit of pink or a lot of pink? So I'm kind of excited by it. I'll leave a couple links below of like my favourite Balmain pieces that I think are really quite wearable from the Barbie collection. But again, let me know what you think. And we're done. That is all the news stories that I found super interesting this month. If I've missed something though, please do leave it below in the comments. Let's start a discussion. And if you're new here and you've never seen me before, please do hit subscribe for monthly fashion news videos. But thank you so much for being here, guys, and I will see you soon. Bye!